the last important part we need to add in here before we do some cleaning up is we want to add the prop on the front of the barrel here, so something for the barrel to rest on so it doesn't just fall down and be completely useless. So I'm just going to turn the grid back on with Control' again in the side view, creating a new layer, changing back over to our rectangle marquee tool, and we're going to, let's say, start in this bottom corner, go 2.5 up, and then 1.5, right click and stroke. Now that we've got this one completed, we'll go up, create a new layer for the top view. So following this line up from the side view here, you want to start in this area halfway up this grid and making sure it lines up with the side of the barrel here. Drawing that there, going one grid space across and another half, and then making sure that matches up on the other side. Right click and stroke. That's all good for the top view. We'll then pan down to the front view here. Because we've made the prop line up with the side of the barrel, we can then follow that down to the base, start drawing up, and we want to make sure it's halfway up here so it lines up with the side view. So we'll just roughly put this in over this side and making sure it lines up with the other side of the barrel as well. We're going to come over to the front view, create a new layer, right click and use stroke. Okay, great. So we'll come back over to the side view and we'll just do a little bit of cleaning up. So going back to the side view on the third layer, we're just going to apply a mask, and inside this mask we're just going to use a brush. We're going to choose a hard edge brush. Let's go 20 pixels. I'm now going to turn off the grid one more time by pressing a Control', and anything behind the side wall or this prop up the front of the barrel, I'm just going to paint black over the top of, and that's going to add it to the mask down here and remove those items. Okay, great. So I'm going to go and do the same thing in the top view, but instead of the barrel this time I want to do that to the base. So adding a new layer, mask, painting black over this area because the barrel is sitting on top of the base there. And I also want to do this for the barrel prop, and just removing the parts of the barrel prop that are sitting underneath the cannon. Going down to the front view, and again with the barrel, I just want to remove all the parts of the barrel that are sitting behind this part of the barrel prop. So this bottom line, and also the next one. But for the barrel prop, I also want to remove the line going through the center of the cannon here. This is a good time to save, so you can come up to File, Save, or press Ctrl S. We now want to go over to the side view and turn our grid back on with Ctrl' again. And the very last thing we're going to do on the cannon is just give it a little bit more personality. And we're just going to do that by adding some horns on the front of it. So on the side view, just going to create one more layer. With the brush tool again, we want to change it to 2 pixels again. And we want to click, let's say, here on the front of the cannon. Go up 3 of the grid squares, and then let's say 3/4 of the way back, pressing Shift and then clicking once. I'm just going to follow down about halfway just on the top of the barrel here, pressing Shift again and clicking one more time, and just adding another little spike on the back, clicking here, clicking halfway on this grid, and then back down. Okay, that's great for the side view. So now on the top view, I'm just going to create a new layer, changing back over to the Ellipse marquee tool. Right click and stroke. I'm going to click to get off the selection, and then holding Shift, I'm just going to drag that up to the halfway point, and I'm going to go through the process of doing the same thing for the back spikes. So new layer, holding Shift down, stroke, clicking to get off the selection, and then holding Shift to drag it up. And there's the top view done. Now for the front view, what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to copy layer 15 here, and then put that on to the front view folder. I'm then going to press Shift and copy this across. And I'm just going to use the arrow keys again to line this up with the center. And then using the razor tool, I'm just going to change it over to a hard edge brush, and let's say 20 pixels again. And I'm just going to get rid of the back part here, and I'm just going to erase that little bit there. So we already have a mask for the barrel, so I'm just going to click back on the mask and changing the brush back to 20 pixels again, and I'm just going to turn the grid off again by pressing Ctrl', coming down and painting black into that mask just to remove these last little bits of the barrel up the back there. So that's all good. I'm just going to press Ctrl S again one more time to save it, and just zoom out once. From this point, we're just going to add a few labels just to finish this off. So I'm just going to create a new folder, just call that labels, and just choosing the text tool. I'm just going to use top. Just choose whichever font you like, and I'm using 36 points. So just making labels for our top, side and front views. I'm just going to choose a bigger size for title, and I'm going to call this Rhino Cannon. Just line that up there. And that's it for the modeling plan. From this point, we'll save out the images, one for the side, top and front view, and then we'll make the image planes for the inside of 3D Studio Max. If you want, you can take this further and start shading your images and adding textures to them, but for the sake of making the model, there's plenty of information here for us to complete the cannon. So that's our images completed. I will see you in the next video to continue on.